forward, and ye shall prosper. Okay, so I wanted to take a look at the court appearance of Charlie Kirk's shooter that happened yesterday. So we're gonna look at this together because I haven't seen it yet. So we're gonna look at this together. So let me go on and.
James Robinson. Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Robinson. I'm Judge Graff. Mr. Skordas.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. You're probably already aware of my presence or why I'm here, but if not, I am not entering an appearance. I'm not counsel on this case. I'm working with the county to get counsel assigned, but we need you to allow for the appointment of counsel.
Thank you, Mr. Skordas.
That man making sure ain't no responsibility on him. He know his people crazy.
It is, well, I want to go through the qualifications
Absolutely.
For indigency, but that is my intent, Mr. Skordas.
Very well.
And I thank you for being here. So, Mr. Robinson, you have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the court can appoint an attorney to represent you. I have reviewed your declaration of financial status and find that you are indigent. I'm provisionally appointing a Rule 8 qualified attorney to represent you on your case, Mr. Robinson. Along with their filing of their appearance of counsel, the assigned attorneys must file declarations with the court that outline their qualifications under Rule 8 and Rule 8C, under Rule 8B and Rule 8C for a counsel appointment in a case where death may be a sentencing option. I'm ordering that those declarations be filed prior to the next hearing date, which is set for September 29th at 10 a.m. Mr.
Mark your calendars. We'll be going live on the 9th at 10 a.m. On the 29th at 10 a.m. Mark your calendars, people. Mark your calendars, okay?
Mr. Robinson, I also wish to inform you of your rights against self-incrimination. Anything that you say in court today could be used against you, and we want to protect your constitutional rights. Mr. Robinson, at this time, you will remain in custody without bail. Mr. Skordas, is there any other points that you wish to address?
No, thank you very much, Your Honor.
Turning to the state.
Yes, Your Honor. Chad Grunander for the state. I'm also joined, and they're listed as attendees, Ryan McBride, Lauren Hunt, David Sturgill, and Chris Ballard. We are the trial team on this case.
Why do they have him in a bulletproof vest in the court? I mean, in the jail?
I do have a few points I'd like to bring up with Your Honor. We have filed a pretrial protective order on behalf of Erica Kirk. We would ask the court to review that. It should be in your queue, Your Honor, and sign that.
Thank you. I have reviewed the pretrial protective order and will be issuing this pretrial protective order in favor of Erica Kirk. Is there any other business that we need to address today, counsel?
Just for the court's information, we did file just recently, within the last few minutes, a notice of intent to seek the death penalty that was filed by Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray. So that should be in the court's file. Lastly, I would just indicate to the court and to, at this point, Mr. Robinson, that we are prepared to collect all of the discovery in this matter and get that turned over to the defense as soon as possible. Rule 16 requires us to provide what we have relied on in charging the information and bringing these charges within 5 days once it's requested. So that'll be prepared to disseminate to the defense as soon as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Grunander. Mr. Robinson, what I also want to do is you have the right to have the charges read that you stand charged of, and I wish to read those to you at this time. Thank you. Mr. Robinson, for count 1, aggravated murder, a capital felony in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-5-202, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Charlie Kirk under the following circumstances. The defendant knowingly created a great risk of death to another individual other than Charlie Kirk and the defendant. Notice conviction of this offense may carry the death penalty or pursuant to Utah Code 76.3-207.7, a mandatory term of imprisonment for life without parole or an indeterminate term of not less than 25 years, and that may be for life. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-3-203.14 sub 2. Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because of Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. Notice if the trier of fact finds beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim targeting enhancement applies, the sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider the defendant's selection of
All right, back home, Luigi, man.
as an aggravating factor. Violent offense committed in the presence of a child aggravating factor, the sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider as an aggravating factor in their deliberations that the defendant committed a violent criminal offense in the presence of a child. Count 2, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, a first-degree felony, in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-11-210 sub 2 and 3C, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant Tyler James Robinson discharged a firearm in the direction of Charlie Kirk, knowing or having reason to believe that Charlie Kirk may be endangered by the discharge of the firearm and that the act caused serious bodily injury to Charlie Kirk. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-3-203.14 sub 2. Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. Notice if the trier of fact finds beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim targeting enhancement applies, the sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider the defendant's selection of the victim as an aggravating factor. Violent offense committed in the presence of a child aggravating factor. The sentencing judge or the Board of Pardons and Parole shall consider an aggravating factor in their deliberations that the defendant.
This white on white crime has to stop. This white on white crime has to stop. I don't understand what's going on. I mean, it's so much that they can be focused on, but they are so dead set on skin color. They don't care that they are going broke. They losing farms. They're losing businesses. They're losing their welfare. They're losing housing. They're losing Medicaid. They're losing all these things. But yeah, your color is bothering me. You know, I don't care that I can barely feed my kids. I don't care if I barely have gas. I don't like you because of your skin complexion. You know, interesting, right? Quite interesting.
Committed a violent offense in the presence of a child. Count 3, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-8-306 sub 2, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant Tyler James Robinson, with intent to hinder, delay, or prevent the investigation, apprehension, prosecution, conviction, or pursuant to any person regarding conduct that constitutes a criminal offense, conceal or remove the firearm used to shoot Charlie Kirk, and the conduct that constitutes an offense would be a capital felony or a first-degree felony. Count 4, obstruction of justice.
I do want to make note that Mr. Tyler Robinson, the 22-year-old that that's standing right here now, he was gifted that gun that was used to take Kirk on out of here. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind.
A second-degree felony in violation of Utah Code 76-8-306 sub 2, in that on or about September 11th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, with an intent to hinder, delay, or prevent the investigation, apprehension, prosecution, conviction, or punishment of any person regarding conduct that constitutes a criminal offense, destroyed, concealed, or removed the clothing he wore during the shooting, and the conduct that constitutes an offense would be a capital felony or first-degree felony.
Now let me ask y'all a question. Now, people are making different claims, right? And people are saying that Kirk was turning or about to turn on Israel and could have became a critic. So Israel might have had a motive. You know what I'm saying? Like some point to his past criticism of Netanyahu and a theory he had about October 7th, that Israel had prior knowledge of it. Also reports that Israel or Israel leaders had been trying to pressure Kirk publicly and privately, and even Candace Owens had made a comment about this to stay aligning with, the center point. You get what I'm saying? So far, no creditable evidence has emerged that Israel or Netanyahu orchestrated or authorized what happened. The Prime Minister Netanyahu, he made a public rejection of these theories, implicating Israel and calling them insane. But Zionism or Zionists, they have a history. Let's not get that confused. And that's what Hitler said he was trying to get rid of. Not Jews, but but Zionism. It's a big difference between white people and the KKK.
Count 5, tampering with a witness, a third-degree felony in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-8-508, in that on or about September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, believed that an official proceeding or investigation was pending or about to be instituted or intended to prevent an official proceeding or investigation, and attempted to induce or otherwise cause his roommate to withhold testimony, information, a document, or an item, to wit, directing his roommate to delete incriminating text messages.
Listen, I was always told, if you're going to do something, you do it by your damn self. You hear me? If whatever you're going to do it by yourself. If you're going to commit a crime, you're going to go hit a lick, whatever you're going to do. If you don't want nobody else to know your business, you do it by yourself. You hear me? If for my girls who know, you know.
Count 6, tampering with a witness, a third-degree felony in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-8-508, in that on or about September 11th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, believed that an official proceeding or investigation was pending or about to be instituted or intended to prevent an official proceeding or investigation, and attempted to induce or otherwise cause his roommate to withhold testimony or information, to wit, directing his roommate to stay silent if the police questioned the roommate. Count 7, violent offense committed in the presence of a child, a Class A misdemeanor in violation of Utah Code.
Now that I do feel bad for. I tried my best to avoid actually seeing the impact and the outcome of the impact. However, I was watching a video and they literally snuck it in at the end. Like snuck it in at the end. Like it wasn't even like it would had an inkling that they were going to show that in the video. They were just talking about something else and then it just went into it. I'm talking about if you were watching something about sunflowers and rainbows and then the devil just popped up at the end where you like, well, what the hell I got to do? I completely didn't want to see it. But my point is, for the kids that were there that had to witness that and feel that horror of the panic and all, I just feel so bad for those kids because these kids are gonna have PTSD for the rest of their life. Whether or not it shows, you can't live through something like this and not have something in the back of your mind or in your soul. You get what I'm saying? Like it's going to be there.
Annotated 76-3- 203.10 sub 2 and 76-3-203.14 sub 3a little double I, in that on or about September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, committed criminal homicide in the physical presence of a child younger than 14 years of age, with knowledge that a child was present and that may have been seen or heard the commission of the criminal homicide. Victim targeting enhancement in violation of Utah Code annotated 76.
We're going to speed this up a little bit. We ain't got all day.
-3-203.14 sub 2, Tyler James Robinson intentionally selected Charlie Kirk because of Tyler James Robinson's belief or perception regarding Charlie Kirk's political expression. That concludes reading the information. Mr. Robinson, this case is set for September 29th at 10 a.m. It will be a waiver hearing.
Remember, we're going to be here September 29th, 10 a.m.
I will be the judge assigned to this case. Mr. Robinson, I invite you to join us at that time. Is there anything further, counsel?
No, Your Honor, we'll have counsel appointed by then. Thank you.
Mr. Granger, anything further?
One item, just for clarification, Your Honor, the hearing on the 29th, is that in person or WebEx?
Thank you. That is a great question. It will be via WebEx.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right. I want to thank all parties for being here, and this concludes this hearing at this time. Court is in recess.
All right, y'all. So that was what that was on that. I mean, how do you guys feel? I mean, look, here's another thing that I do want to say. Kirk was visible. He was a visible pro-Israeli figure, and I do feel as though he might have had some pressure put on him. Let me move this down a little bit. But yeah, I do feel like he might have had some pressure put on him and maybe suppress some people trying to suppress his voice because he was going kind of hard. Remember, he was talking about those Epstein files. Some people like Candace Owens aligned that there was pressure from Israel figures, including possible financial concerns and influence that was shaping Kirk's stance. I mean, these claims are, I would say, at least for now, unproven. Bill Ackman, a donor and a financial person that Candace Owen had talked about recently, he denies anything. He denies any blackmail, any coercion. No documentation have proved or emerged that Israel was involved in any death of his or whatever the case may be. Investigators into the assassination by the U.S. law enforcement are focused on Tyler Robinson and motives internal to the U.S. and not necessarily like foreign states or whatnot. Now, a lot of online conspiracy theories amplified by political polarization and misinformation say that, after Kirk's death, many people suggest that Israel agents might have had something to do with it. They have talking about Epstein and how Kirk was bringing up Epstein and Israel and stuff. But I do want to say that if you do go online, you will see. I watched this one, and if I find it, I'll come back on. But I seen this one guy where he literally slowed it down and zoomed in, and it was like three people behind Kirk, right? It was like a dude in a black shirt, a dude in a white shirt, and then another guy off to the left. And so it was and the guy that was off to the left was the one who actually had Pum Pum, and the dude it was just crazy how it was set up. But the way that their body movements were, it was so coordinated where it's like if they had nothing to do with it, the coincidence is just astonishing, right? But it is what it is. Kurt was assassinated by Tyler Robinson, is what they are saying, and there is likely a political ideology. Yeah, y'all know what I mean. Anyway, component to his motive, right? Investigators are still looking for what was really the true motive. From last I heard, he really wasn't complying with the people. They still haven't established whether or not Netanyahu or Israel had any credible links, how if they even orchestrated it, approved it, even if they had any knowledge of it, to be honest with you. So we just have to go with what it is. We are a conspiracy-based country, and a lot of times you have seen that when they say it's a conspiracy, it come out to be something. I'm just saying, crack, women's lib, abortions. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that when it come out in the wash. But I digress. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. I've held you here for 21 minutes and 30 seconds, and that is long enough. Have a good day and talk to you later. Oh, I know that this is it. 'Cause I know that I'm giving you a love. A love that you can resist, baby.
Move over, Denzel.